childhood where, I always felt I don't know what to speak, right? I felt maybe I was not good enough to speak in front of audiences. I always saw my dad speak at everything and anything and TV and whatnot. But I was like, can I ever be that good, right? And so that was something that I never worked on. In fact, I remember that for a class, and I don't think I spoke anything on that paper, right? I don't even think I spoke anything, right? And for me, at that time, if I was to look back and look forward and say, I was sitting here with all these prominent businessmen and entrepreneurs and mentors who would be listening to me, I'd be like, why are they listening to me, right? What am I going to offer them? But what I'm going to offer to you is, you all know there's a problem. I hope I can give some tips for the solution that some of you might take home with you, right? I'm blessed to be able to come from a background of privilege. My family has a business. They sent me abroad to study. I studied textile chemistry, completely unrelated from mental health, right? And I ended up just following the program, as they say. Everybody graduates, goes to the university. Oh, what do you do? Oh, textile factory. Okay, just do that and walk out, right? And so I did all that for a long time. For about 20 years, I did something which I liked, but I was not really into that much. And then I discovered, by coincidence, thank you, Sadeep, by the way, Sadeep is one of my mentors, that there was something called NLP, and there was something called hypnotherapy, and there was something called mental health and psychology. Things that I never really paid attention. So I went into this field, and alhamdulillah, the last 5 years I've been being able to do. So what are some of the things? So 10 years ago, if you had seen me, you would see someone fairly successful, one of the largest exporters of chrome ore from Pakistan, 2 great kids, wife of my own choosing. So nothing of that sort that was there. But I was also numb. I was literally numb, and there's something probably my dad doesn't know. I woke up in the morning, I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to do anything, right? It was a big problem. But I didn't know what to do because nobody had showed me what to do, right? Nobody talked about mental health, right? They still don't, right? And then, pardon my friend, the shit really hit the fan, and we went through a financial downturn, and that really broke me. Right? For a long time, I was like, life is over, right? Because everything that was my safety factor felt like it was crumbling. And even then, I did not have someone to come. So then, at that point, I just did what everyone does, man up, right? Get through it, right? So I did that. And for a few years, I went like that until I actually discovered that I needed to work on myself. So I started working on myself, slowly. It's still a work of art which is in progress, right? And I'm working on it. So what you see in front of you is an unfinished masterpiece, right? And so it's there. So some of the lessons I learned from, and I believe that the lessons are very important in life, because all that we experience, if we carry the baggage of all those experiences with us, it's sort of like, sir, do you like watermelons? Yeah, of course, right? So imagine, you decide I want to take watermelon to the consulate, right? And so you take this watermelon, put it in a bag, and you carry it to the consulate. And why do you have a watermelon? I want to eat it. They say, sir, cut it, take out the fruit, put it in a box and bring that. You don't have to carry all that weight with you, right? And that's the experiences that we bring out of the actual incidences that happen. And this is something I learned the hard way, right? And by the way, this analogy was made while talking to someone in Malaysia, by the way, one of my clients. So, eat the fruit salad. So, what is the purpose of eating the fruit and leaving all that heavy things behind. It's to take the lessons out of it and then leave the emotions and the drama and the story with it on the side. And that's something we do. We tell ourselves a story every day. We wake up in the morning and we tell ourselves a story. Now, if that story is positive, you get out of bed, you go and earn, and you come back happy, right? I was talking to a friend of my son about 2 years ago. He was about 14 years old. I was like, what do you want to do? You know, like, why aren't you playing? He's like, no, I need to study. I said, okay, why do you want to study? He said, I want to grow up and become a doctor. Oh, excellent. I said, but why a doctor, right? So because doctors make a lot of money. Wow, okay. So I said, okay, so you're going to study hard. You're going to go to a good business, good medical school. You're going to specialize in something or the other. And about 45 or so, you'll start earning money, right? Doctors, right? That's it. So at 45, you're going to start earning money. Maybe 55, you have enough, you move abroad and somewhere in LA, you have this multi-million mansion or something. I said, then what? I said, then I'm going to be happy. Right? I said, you're going to be happy at 55. You're 14 right now. 40 years later, you'll be happy. I said, how about you be happy now and do all those things? So if what happens is you don't get into medical school, or you get into medical school and you don't like it, or you become a doctor and you're not too good at it, or you never make it as a famous doctor and don't make those millions, whatever, you still be happy, right? And that's the goal at the end of the day, right? So why waste 40 years to do what you can do now? But unfortunately, that's what we do. We go through life, and then we're like, oh, I'm too old to be happy now, right? So we spend our entire life not being happy. So one, be happy. My dad pointed out very rightly that you come home, let go of all the things that, all the stresses of the day. I like to do that. I actually like to do that before going to work. When I reach work, I sit in the car for 2 minutes and get rid of all the traffic and the whatnot. When I reach home, I take 2 minutes to get out of the car because I don't want to walk into the house and bring it to my wife and kids, right? So I don't even need to go to the bed, like, let it go outside because I don't want it inside my house. 2, what else can we do? Talk about it. If you're facing a problem, I never knew who to talk about, who to talk to, right? I didn't know people like me existed at that time, right? So I've spent much time talking to my mentor, Sandeep. He's one of my trainers as well. Talked to several friends and other professionals, colleagues of mine, and I learned that talking about it, it won't solve your problems. No, you still have to solve your own problems, but it will give you that support. Somebody will tell you a piece of advice. Somebody will give you a little bit more, right? Somebody will give you that hope, that look inside saying, you can do it, right? When you feel like, I'm up here and talking, nobody is going to tell you, no, you can't do it, right? And believe me, until I walked on the stage, I did not know what I was going to say, right? And that's the thing. I procrastinated for the last 1 month or so. Anaman has been planning this, and she invited me. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? And every minute that anxiety builds up. So this morning, I said, you know what? I'm just going to get up and say whatever, right? Because people don't know what I'm going to say, right? And that's something I learned, in public speaking. There was a time when I couldn't speak in public, right? As I said. And then I just learned that nobody knows what you're going to say, so you can say anything you want, right? So thank you for listening to whatever I'm saying, right? I don't know how much time do we have. Sorry, I didn't look at the clock. 4 minutes? So, the second thing I learned, and something which Mr. Majid also mentioned, I should stop calling it that, right? So, something I learned was your focus, right? And as we say, where your focus goes, your energy flows, right? So you choose where your focus goes. You choose where your energy goes. And where your energy goes, that area of your life will expand. Right? Now the thing is, we focus on the traffic outside, we focus on the dollar going up, we focus on the business problem, we focus on whatever, the kids, the wife, the whatnot, right? We focus on the problems. And that's actually the problem, right? We focus only on the problem, nothing on the solutions, right? I see a lot of people talk about a lot of things and they only talk about, this is the problem, this is the problem, the economy, this is the problem. Okay, how do you solve it? That's not my job. My job was to highlight the problems, right? So your focus makes a big difference. The second, or the, I don't know, the fourth thing I learned was your emotions, right? Your emotions. We all have emotions. That's part of who we are. And we get emotions that, to be honest, sometimes we're not very proud of either. But I learned that emotions are a tool. They're a message from your body, your mind, to make you act, right? Because emotions are energy in motion, effectively. So emotions are something that you need to use as a tool. Because the day emotions become the master and you become the tool, that's when you start getting all the problems. That's when you start getting the hypertension, right? The heart diseases that men are famous for now, right? Talks up. So, now, let go of the tension, right? How do you let go of the tension? You already heard, right? Meditate, concentrate, pray, right? Whatever works for you, right? Because I'm not going to tell you what works for you, because what works for you doesn't work for me, and what works for me doesn't work for the third person. So know what you want to do, and do what works for you. Now, the fifth thing is that have a purpose in life. Because that purpose will make things so much easier. That purpose will drive something called your identity, right? And identity determines each and everything about you. What you believe in, what you value, right? Eventually it determines your capabilities, it determines your behavior, it determines your environment, right? And so, I often ask my clients this question. I said, what school did you go to? And whatever school. And then what uniform did you wear? And say, it was like a gray. I'll say, I went to St. Patrick's and it was all gray. And to be honest, not a very flattering color, right? But, I never woke up in the morning and said, you know what, I look cool in this, blue and black, nice. So I'm going to wear blue and black to school today. No, because I have already made that decision with my identity. I'm a student of St. Patrick's High School. I'm not going to wear anything other than gray. And that's the thing, right? When we create an identity for ourselves, I am. A couple of days back, I was talking to someone in Turkey, and she kept repeating the same